how do you pick which pair to trade? If you're watching NQ and you're watching ES, how are we going to understand which trade we're going to take? This is how I decide. Once again, I don't care about the terminology, whether you want to call it a divergence, a Kraken correlation, SMT. I don't care about the terminology. That's not why I'm here. Okay? I don't care who claims it. That has nothing to do with me. I just want to trade. This is the logic that I use to getting into trades. Okay? Here's an example of bearish SMT. When you're analyzing a Kraken correlation, when you're analyzing a bearish one, you want to be looking at the highs. Okay, so let's analyze the highs. You can see on this asset, let's say this is NQ. This is ES. Let's say on this asset, price swept the highs, whereas on this asset, price did not sweep the highs. This is an example of bearish SMT. The pair that creates the failure swing, right? This is a failure swing right here, meaning it failed to go above this high. That's why I'm calling it a failure swing. The pair that has the failure swing, right? This is the weaker pair. Okay, so when I have a bearish bias, that's when I'm looking to take shorts. When I'm looking to take shorts, I'm looking to short the weaker pair. Now, just for this example, ES is the weaker pair. You have to go into price action and use this concept to actually see the weaker pair. Okay? Just because it's ES this time doesn't mean it's going to be ES the next time. It's just the example that I'm showing. When you're shorting, you want to be shorting the weaker pair. So this would be the weaker pair because of the failure swing. Okay? Let's go into price action so that you can also see a price action example. Okay? Let's go to New York Open. Now, the important part to understand here is that when you're analyzing, you're using these same exact 2 points in time. Okay? So look at this candle here. Notice how this is the 21:15 candle. Look at the time at the bottom of the screen when I'm hovering over the candle. This is the 21:15 candle. Okay? Go over to ES. Look at the 21:15 candle. And that's when you get the measurement. Look at how ES this morning. So this very moment in time right here. Notice how ES went above that high. When it went above that high, it then closed back inside the range. This is an example of bearish SMT within price action. All right, let's go back to NQ. My chart is taking a while to load. And take a look. So this is the same exact drawing that I just put on the screen. NQ has made a failure swing. When you're looking to short, you want to short the weaker pair. So which pair would I think would go to the lows from here? It would be NQ, because in this example, NQ is showing to be the weaker pair. What do we target when we're looking at shorts? We target swing lows. We target bullish fair value gaps. So from here, I would think NQ goes to the lows compared to ES because it's the weaker pair. And you get exactly that. There's your example of bearish SMT. Now here's an example of bullish SMT. It's the same exact thing, just opposite. During bullish SMT, you're analyzing the lows. Once again, you're analyzing between NQ and ES. You can see that one of them took out the low, one of them did not take out the low. The one that makes the failure swing is the stronger pair. When I'm longing, I want to long the stronger pair. Okay, now take that concept and take a look at what we have. NQ ran below the swing low here, using the same 2 points in time, the 8:45 candle to the 10 a.m. candle. ES 8:45 a.m. candle to the 10:15 a.m. candle. Notice how ES made a higher low while NQ made a lower low. This is bullish SMT. So what would we target when we're bullish? We target swing highs. It makes complete sense that ES is already back at the swing high compared to NQ. Look at where NQ's swing high is. Because ES is the stronger pair. Ash, can you talk about how you choose to enter your positions based off the concepts you just discussed? Yes. So now let's bake it into the decision making. Let's take a look. For example, let's take a look. When I'm making decisions, it starts with the daily chart. I'm going to the daily chart and I'm determining a bias. Okay, so I'm going to the daily chart. I'm looking at swing highs, swing lows, and FEGs. That's how I determine a bias. The last bias that I had was a bullish bias for both NQ and ES because price tapped into a bullish FEG right here on Tuesday. I was looking for a bullish bias to new all-time highs because of it. Feel free to just go back to Monday's live stream when we did our weekly outlook to fact check me. Purpose being is it starts with the daily and getting a bias. Once you get a bias, that's how you know what type of position you're looking for. So if you get a bullish bias from the daily time frame, then during my session, I'm looking for long positions. To confirm the idea that I actually can go in and execute a long position, that's when I'm looking at SMT. That's when I'm looking at a crack in correlation. So I then go to the hourly chart and I'm analyzing SMT on the higher time frame. So I use the daily as the bias. I look at swing highs, swing lows, and FEGs. That's how I determine bias. Once I get a bias, I know what type of position I'm looking for. Then I go into the hourly time frame to look for a confirmation to that bias, which is SMT. Right? So you can clearly see the SMT here on the hourly time frame as well. Okay, look at all these hourly lows. Look at how ES keeps making higher lows while NQ took out the swing low. So you can see the SMT on the higher time frame, and then you go to the lower time frame and execute a bullish unicorn. Okay, so starts with the bias on the daily time frame. You get a bias, you know what you're looking for. Then you go to the hourly time frame to search for SMT. If SMT is on the chart, that is a confirmation. That means you can go into the lower time frame and look for your entry function. If SMT is not on the chart, that's where I'm not going to the lower time frame. Instead, I'm going to the sidelines and waiting. I'm waiting for a confirmation. I'm being objective to the information and efficiently reacting to it. If the confirmation is not available, don't trade. Just be mentally and emotionally controlled enough to simply not take a trade. So that's the checklist that I talk about in terms of having justifications to my actions, having reasons how or why I do things, is through the concepts that we've talked about here.